Shalom, shalom. Call lawyer, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Chakadash, Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which means he exists. By Zen, Ha is thus shown his name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, which means he saves, he delivers. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom, Wakasah, Lahabakir. Peace and mercy to the elect. I'm your fellow servant, Yadi. I represent the GMS Church here in Cleveland, back in the spirit. Hoping I pray this is an edifying lesson. It's gonna be a quick lesson. How Vartazada is edifying, kind of like a skillfully adding. The elder Ariala in the GMS Dallas, Texas camp, he did a lesson entitled "This Ain't Living," um, and detach. With detach being to separate, the first precept he brought out was Micah 2:10. He went into that precept because we got to spiritually detach from this place, not physically. All right, because we're gonna be physically detached where we get caught up in the chairs, Lord willing. When I say we, meaning all the sincere brothers, starting with the apostle, elders of Great Millstone, all the Akim, all the, So yeah, he did a lesson entitled "This Ain't Living." Matter of fact, this is page right here. Like I forget. Oh yeah, the elder Yashawamba. He always say subscribe and be edified. Continually. So this. I know brothers already more than likely subscribe to the elders page, but if you're not, here you go. So yeah, this ain't living. Detach. Um, right, because this ain't living. Here it is. We're the princes of who these people Italy call God and Jesus. We're the princes of who these people all Italy call God and Jesus Christ, man. Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. All right, and we're in a position of servitude. We're in a position of service, right? We offering a service in exchange for an hourly rate or a salary. So this ain't living, and right, because what is living? Living is according to the scriptures. That's how you live. Right? We can't even follow the law, statutes, commandments in this captivity. So you really ain't living, right? If you say he that live she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, I think that is. But like I said, what is living? Living is the, following and establishing the laws, statutes, commandments, right? This is the Lord said, Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, he told the disciples, I am the way, the truth, and the life, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's how that's really living. Because like I said, here it is. I work a particular, I got a particular occupation where I'm in the service industry. And I serve, heathens, right? Israelites, just people in general. But recently, I just, I did a wedding, um, and I was a server there. You know what I'm saying? So it was some Elamites, man. I believe the Hebrew word for Elam is Ayalam, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Man, and I was just in my head. Of course, I know we broke the laws. That's the commandments. That's our punishment. You know what I'm saying? That's our punishment for our disobedience, right? But even though deep down inside, you still like the elder Ariala was saying in the lesson, you get a chip on your shoulder, right? Because we waiting for what? Waiting to start living. Your house ain't yours. You would tell her that you owe your house. Right? I always tell my son them that. I could bring one of my bunny men here right now and ask him, do I always tell you what own this house? Gonna own this shit. That's why it just recently they was passing out some letters, and this even further validates the points that the elder was. This ain't living. So they was passing out letters, apartment to each apartment. And they was talking about some will not be tolerated. They got to pick up trash. And I told this and that, the property being destroyed, which is a lot of children that live in our little not cul-de-sac, but in our little unit or whatever in our building. And they was, and I told my son though, I reproved them. I told y'all, don't pick up after yourself. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't leave your toys all like scattered out in the courtyard. Don't do this. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Which granted, like I was telling the dude who was giving the letters, I was like, shit, where? But he even said, he was like, I was like, yeah, they just children, you know. You tell them. Uh, he was like, where they gonna go, right? You know. So yeah, I was telling my children, to basically on the point that the elder Ariella made about this, we don't own our house. I tell they as I said, this ain't our house, man. You know, keep it clean, keep a low profile. That's what you want to do, especially under this devil. You wanna keep a low profile, fly under the radar, so to speak, man. And that's what a majority of Jakes don't understand. You know, they want to be on the radar. They don't want to. They want to be high profile, right? Yeah. So, Ray, this ain't living. You know, you dealing with infestation in your crib, whether it's flies, whether it's fucking rodents, whether it's insects, right? You dealing with infestation, you gotta deal with this. This ain't living, man. All right. But guess what? We shall live again. Which I know that's scripture in the second address that's going into reincarnation, but we gonna live again, right? Because we lived there once, right? I'll remember this. Like, yeah, well, I do remember shit through the spirit. But that's right, because the Lord put us in remembrance. Whether we once knew this, because we did know these things before. But like our forefather during the time of our forefather King Solomon, right, during his reign, 40 years of peace, right? That's living. That was living right there, man. We had peace on earth. Cake, and that's how we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna live again when Yahweh Shah return, right? Yahweh Shah Mashal, these people inly called Jesus. We're gonna live again when he returns. Okay, because yeah, right. So this was a quick lesson. It was kind of like organic. I just remembered that the Lord put a thought in my head, and I thought about the lesson about the elder Yahshua. This ain't living, man. And he was making multiple valid points in that lesson. But Yahweh Ratazah, I could go check it out. It only got 500 views, but 4,000 subscribers, which we know some of those subscribers being entertained. But it's more than 500 brothers in GMS. So if you ain't seen that, Lord willing, go check it out. But this definitely ain't living. And I'm gonna say this because you'll think that just because you don't have money, or you know what I'm saying, you don't have tangible things, multiple vehicles, you got a property on a 1 acre lot, whatever it is, that ain't even living either, especially for the Akim that's in the truth that possess those things, right? Because why? We're still under the devil, right? That's not living, you know right? So even for the Akim that are in possession of these physical carnal things in this life, you better believe they know this ain't living. Is they supposed to be able to govern their house? They supposed to be able to deal with multiple okay, we multiple women, man, right? So and the elder Yashawamba, Salakia, elder Ariala, he was bringing out those points too about your woman bucket up against you, which I'm just reiterating what he said, right? And I know the brother Yabakun, he the one who shared the lesson in the group me, and I watched it. Ain't too many brothers in our camp watch it. I said, Lord willing, y'all check it out if y'all see this lesson right here, man. But this definitely not living, right? We can't even establish the law, right? We can't establish the laws of the supreme Yahweh Baruch. This ain't living, man. Right? We eat GMOs, carbonated beverages, Takis, Snickers bars. Like, what the fuck? Which, not saying that there's nothing wrong with particular snacks and things like that. You think we ain't gonna have certain treats and candies, if you will, in the kingdom? Of course we are, right? And it's all gonna be, it's gonna be healthy, right? We ain't gonna eat garbage, right? We ain't gonna eat garbage like we do on this side. That's a part of the curses, right? We ain't living. We under the curses, man. We gonna live when the blessings come upon us, man. That's when we gonna live, when the blessings come upon us, man. Okay, and guess what? The Heavenly Father's about to turn the captivity of Jacob. That's a part of the blessings. He gonna restore everything unto us, right? So I'm gonna see what it say. Hold on, what this say in it? NLT, let me see. And I'm gonna wrap this up, man. But yeah, this ain't living. I remember me and the brother Saint Benji, Atazawanya, we did a lesson on the way to Detroit one time. He was here in Ohio, entitled "This Ain't Living," you know. And brother just bring out certain points and reasonings as to why we say that. Right, you living in a 1,200 square foot apartment, you know. Okay, and even if you living in a fucking 5 bedroom mansion, it still ain't living, you know, because eventually those things are gonna be stripped away from us. It'll be living if we had, like my nigga, what's his name, Jordan Maxwell, Elder Apostle Gabor, speak about him a lot. The apostles and the elders in general, man, speak about these different individuals. They used to watch because they bring out information. They was the first whistleblowers, right? He was talking about an allodial title about niggas don't know about that, but at the end of the day, it still ain't living if you got a allodial title, because this devil could just take it by force. That's what the word "take" mean. When you know what I'm saying, like a strong arm you type shit. Um, yeah, right, blessings for obedience, right? That's the spirit, because that's when we gonna be able to live. When the Heavenly Father's, when our cup runneth over, pursuant to Psalms 23rd chapter, right? You know, when the Lord bless us, when the Lord write His law, statute, commandments in our inward part, we never go off again. See, that's gonna be living right, because we ain't never gonna die. We gonna be immortal, pursuant to the scriptures, and we believe these things, man, right? And if you don't believe that, well, that's too bad that, ultimately the Heavenly Father give you faith to believe in Him, man. You're putting the Heavenly Father in a box. I think the elder was mentioning that too in the lesson about these certain Jakes. Like it was a point that he made. Um, but yeah, that's when we're gonna live. When the Lord write His laws, touch the commandments in our inward part, we won't break the law no more. That's living, obedient, being obedient to the Heavenly Father. Because what comes with that is blessings, man. We're gonna be able to live. We're gonna be able to. We'll have righteous influence, like the elder was talking about, over the world, man. Yep. So yeah, blessings for obedience. I'm gonna see what it's saying in NLT. If you follow, it's like if you fully obey the Heavenly Father, your power, and carefully keep all His commands. Right. See, we was in this flesh, subject to vanity. So the Heavenly Father gonna get us new bodies, right? Heavenly, celestial. I mean, so like extra. I always say celestial, extraterrestrial bodies, man. All right. Like you see these different individuals have but they always had them with a what you call that shit? A weakness. But like I mentioned, Dr. Manhattan, he ain't had no weakness. I think it was another superhero that just came out that we seen. He ain't had no weakness either. But Dr. Manhattan from the movie The Watchmen, he ain't had no weakness. Right? So the Lord gonna put these commandments in He gonna give us new bodies, man. Undefiled. Okay? It says that I am giving you today. It said the Lord your power will set you on high above all the nations of the world, right? Then we gonna live. You will experience all these blessings if you obey the Heavenly Father, your power. So yeah. And that's all we gotta do. That's a simple thing to obey. The Lord said He rather obeisance than sacrifice. And I believe He mentioned that to King Saul, right, during the time of Samuel. So I think it's in the book of First Samuel, you know. Because that will go into the life of Samuel, and the ascend to the throne for Saul, right? So so yeah, and that's a light. That's easy to do, man. To obey the Heavenly Father. I mean, it's hard in this flesh. That's why we need the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashir Yahweh Shai to be with us, man. To give us that faith. Of course we going off, man. Right, we ain't living. This ain't living. We break the law. We subject to death. We really supposed to be put to death for the law. Certain particular laws. I'll say that. Not all laws that you break is the sentence of death, but adultery, for example, sentence of death. Um, LGBTQ affiliation. It says sentence of death, right? According to the scriptures, not according to me, right? It said verse 3. So if it says you will experience all these blessings, right? If we do what the Lord say, your towns and your fields will be blessed. That's living. When the Heavenly Father is with us, nobody can take us down, right? Everybody, the fear, the dread is amongst all these people for us because of our power. It said, your children and your crops will be blessed. The offspring of your herds and flocks will be blessed. Your fruit baskets and bread boards will be blessed. Whenever you go and wherever you do, you will be blessed. And that's the point, man. And I'm going to really, stop it right there, man, because this ain't living. This wasn't intended to be a long video. It's kind of like I said, skillfully adding, which I said basically the same things. I reiterated the same thing that the elder Ariala was saying, man. You know, and some things, through the spirit. But hey, with that, man, I pray this is an edifying lesson. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises. Call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashan, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostle, elder, great millstone, who will. Shalom, Wakasala, Bakia, Moaflaba, Shalom.